everybody? It's your friend, Colby Massey, aka the Stay at Home Man, and I'm here with another video, and I am going to apologize once again for the sound quality of my videos. I know that they sound funny, they get quiet, they get loud, so I'm going to try to speak up so you can hear me, but not too loud, so I'm not screaming at you. But I want to apologize for the sound quality, and I also want to apologize if you hear Mickey Mouse in the background from time to time. Nora's eating a snack and watching Mickey Mouse, and I'm trying to record this real quick while she's occupied. But I, those of y'all that have watched my most recent videos, specifically my beef jerky videos, y'all know that I'm a do-it-yourself kind of guy. You know, I like to, save money where I can, figure out how to do it on my own, and because then when you do it that way, you find out that it's usually easier than you thought, and it's also a lot cheaper in the long run. Like with the beef jerky, I made a bunch of beef jerky that lasted me quite a while, for about the price, if not less, than it would cost to go buy a bag of beef jerky at Walmart or something. So I like to find things like that and figure out how to do it on my own because it's just fun for me. And one of the things that I have done in the past couple of years is I have made my own beard oil. And I do have a beard, and I try to take care of it, but I'm fresh out of beard oil, and I have been for quite a while. So my beard looks very scraggly, and it's itchy, and, just not a very comfortable beard. So I made a batch of beard oil, and I did have a previous video that I messed up on, and so it's already made. So I'm not going to dump it out and remake it. I'm just going to tell y'all how I made it and take you through the process. And I even had a food scale out and everything. I was going to share measurements and all with you, so it was going to be legit. And y'all know I don't measure, so I was actually trying to go all out for y'all, but I messed up. So I'm sorry. I apologize. But the first thing you're going to need when making your own beard oil is these little vials that come with the little dropper tops. And I don't guess these are 100% necessary, but they do help. They do make it easier. And because when I was first making beard oil, I was using Nora's old gripe water jars. She'd finish a jar of gripe water, I'd wash the bottle out, and I would just store it in that. And they work, but, and then you just pour it in your hand, put it in your beard, but then you tend to over pour sometimes, and then you get way too much oil on your face, and you make a mess, and it's a lot easier if you just go ahead and spend a little bit extra money and get you these little vials with the dropper tops. And you can buy, I bought these in a pack of like 8 for I think like 10, maybe $12. So you can, make 8 vials of beard oil, and it's only going to cost you 10, $12 for the vials at least. So you're going to need those. You're going to need a funnel to put all your oil in. And then the oils you're going to need that I use, now when I was first buying beard oils, I was paying like 15, $20, no more than like 20, maybe $25, because I thought I was buying, the top of the line, nice quality beard oils. Well, then I got to thinking, what makes them so expensive? What makes it to where they're worth that much? Why do they think so highly of their product? And I looked, and I was just looking at the ingredients, and I'll go ahead and tell you guys, it's nothing fancy, it's nothing special. I felt stupid that I was paying, 15, 20, $25 for a 2-ounce thing of beard oil all these years. And that's why I got into making my own beard oil, because I was like, man, I could take all these ingredients and buy them in bulk and just make my own whenever I need it, and it'd be a whole lot cheaper in the long run. So that's what I started doing, and I've dabbled with a lot of different oils and stuff, and some oils are more expensive than others, so you do have to take that into consideration. But the oils that I use that are usually pretty affordable is coconut oil. And this is just your straight up coconut oil you find on the shelf at the grocery store. And the trick to these oils, though, I will say this before I go any further. You can buy any of these oils, on Amazon or in a grocery store, stuff like that. But the key thing is you have to buy cold pressed oil. There's 2 different types. There's expeller press and there's cold press. And the kind that you're going to want to use to put on your skin is cold press, because the process they use for expeller press, I'm not exactly sure what the process is, but you know, just in the research I've done and the articles I've read, cold press is what you need to put on your skin because expeller press will clog your pores, you know, may cause skin irritation and stuff like that. It's just a process used to obtain the oil, whereas cold press is more natural and more organic. So cold press is just going to be better to put on your skin. And I use cold pressed coconut oil, and my wife gets this at the grocery store, you know, I don't know how often, but we use it to cook with, and I use it when I make beard oil and stuff like that. So you can find this at the grocery store. I would say it's probably no more than $10, give or take. I'm not exactly sure. And then I use aloe juice, and I bought this little bottle on Amazon, and I think this was a little bit more expensive. But the aloe juice, I think this little thing was like 10, $12. But still, I mean, you can get quite a few uses out of it. And then I use sweet almond oil, cold pressed sweet almond oil, and this is a bigger bottle. Again, this is like 10, $12, give or take, in that ballpark. And then the last one I use is castor oil. Now this one surprised me. When I saw this as an ingredient in some of the beard oils I've used in the past, I was surprised because when I was a kid, my grandma used to give us castor oil, and it wasn't to put on our skin. It was used for other purposes, and some of y'all may know what I'm talking about, and others may not. But we use this to fix a clog of some sorts, I guess you would say. But evidently it's really good for your skin too. So I bought some of this, and this bottle was 10, $12, and it's mainly, it is good for your skin, and it's, you know, helps with the, you know, keeping your skin moist and all that, but it also helps with the thickness and the consistency of your beard oil. So if you like a thicker, you know, consistency beard oil, castor oil is a pretty good one to use as a base. And I use it, you know, just I use a little bit of it because I don't like a very thick beard oil, but I like it in my beard oil because I like how it makes my oil feel and how it feels in my beard. So that's really all I do. And what I did was I took my oil vial, I took my funnel, and what I did was I took a spoon and I scooped out a pretty good sized glob of coconut oil from the jar, and I put it in this bowl. I stuck it in the microwave for like 15 seconds or so, and then it's still a little bit, you know, it's not fully melted down, so you let it sit for a little bit and it'll melt down into a liquid. And then what I did was I dumped the whole bowl into the funnel, into the vial here, and it ended up being about 0.5 ounces. I do remember some of the measurements or whatever, so if you want to make this stay-at-home man version beard oil, you can. And so about 0.5 ounces of coconut oil, give or take. And then I took my aloe juice, and I did a couple squirts of it, and it ended up being 0.12 ounces, I think it was, 0.1 ounces of aloe juice, just a couple squirts. And then I went to my castor oil, and then I did the same thing, just opened it up, did a couple squirts, you know. And one of the main things too is you want to keep an eye on your level in here, you know, because while you're adding oil, it'll fill up, and then when you go to put your dropper in, it'll overflow, and then you'll have oil all over your table. So it's always a good idea to lay down, you know, a rag or paper towel, or, you know, have something to clean up a mess with, and that usually helps. But so I just kind of keep an eye on my level, and I add, you know, accordingly to how I feel. I just eyeball it, and I squirt a little bit of castor oil in there, and it ended up being a little over 0.1 ounces again. And then I finish off with my sweet almond oil. And sweet almond oil is probably going to be one of the more popular oils you'll find in almost every beard oil that you buy. If you look at the ingredients on the back of, you know, some of these beard oils that you buy, whether it's cheap, whether it's expensive, most of the time it's going to have sweet almond oil in it. It's usually one of like the top 3 oils they use. Not always, but most of the time. So I use sweet almond oil, and I usually just finish off with sweet almond oil. And it's got a little pump top, so I just boom, 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 do a couple pumps of that, and I get it to a good level. And I think that ended up being almost 0.2 ounces. It was like 0.18 ounces, give or take. And but really, you know, like I said, there might be a science to some of the measurements that these big companies use to, you know, make their formula for their beard oil. but in the research that I've done and the articles that I've read, and I've looked up each one of these oils and stuff like that, there's really not much of a science to it. It's really just personal preference. You know, if you add more of one oil than the other, it'll have this consistency, or you know, if you add more of this than that, it'll have this consistency, or it'll have, you know, this effect on your skin. It'll make it, you know, more oily, or it'll, you know, I mean, it's really just, it's come down to personal preference. So that's really all I did, was I just played with that variety of oils, and I got, you know, to a system that I use, that I like, and what I like, you know, how it feels in my beard, how, you know, it's just what I like. That's just how I make my own beard oil, and it's a lot cheaper. And if I were to give you a ballpark number, price-wise, what you would spend to make your own beard oil, I would say I'm looking at about $50, which, yeah, sounds like a lot, but if you buy, you know, 2 or 3 bottles of beard oil, you know, good quality beard oil, then you're going to spend about that anyway on just 3 bottles. Where I have a pack of 8 of these, where I can make 8 bottles and then some for $50, give or take, you know? So, I mean, you got to think about it like that. In the long run, it is cheaper, especially if you're a regular beard oil user like I am. And I figured, you know, with Christmas coming up, and if y'all are looking for last minute gift ideas as well, if you're looking for something as a stocking stuffer or something quick to run out and get, because I know some people don't have a whole lot of money because of, you know, the world we live in this year. You know, if you can spend $50 and make a couple beard oil vials for some friends and some family that, you know, like husbands, you know, brothers, buddies, boyfriends, whatever it may be, even your dad. I made some of this for my dad, and he still uses it to this day. And you know, it's a pretty quick, easy, very easy gift, you know, that you could either do for yourself or for somebody else, you know. And that's really all there is to it, guys. There's nothing special. And if you wanted to add scents, like if you wanted to make it smell a certain way, you can use essential oils. And you can buy a box of essential oils for a pretty reasonable price. I tend to just do the unscented kind, because the oils itself put off a pretty, you know, put off an odor, and it's not a bad odor at all, especially the sweet almond oil and stuff like that. It smells pretty good, I like. And but if you want to add oils, essential oils for, you know, smell, you can use lavender, you can use peppermint for, you know, Christmas. Peppermint's popular. You can use lemongrass, orange. There's all kind of stuff, and you can even buy, you know, like what I call manly smells. You know, like pine, sandalwood, hickory, stuff like that. So, I mean, you can mix up some of this, add a couple drops of pine to it, and give it to your dad, and, you know, he'd probably love it. But I've used tea tree oil in the past. You know, there's a lot of good health benefits to tea tree oil, and plus it smells pretty good. And I think the batch that I made for my dad, I put tea tree oil in his, and he liked it. So there's all kind of different things you can do, but the main thing you have to remember is just when you're buying the actual oils to make the beard oil, buy cold pressed oils. If you do that, you're fine. And I mean, it don't matter if it's coconut oil, castor oil, sweet almond oil. You can buy broccoli seed oil, hemp oil, primrose oil. There's all kind of stuff out there, but just make sure it's cold pressed, and just keep an eye on your levels if you're mixing into one of these. And that's really all there is to it. And that's how I make the stay-at-home man beard oil. Y'all let me know what y'all think, and I'll see y'all along the way.